Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Chit Chat with Tina Bobina coming at you from St. Stephen's, New Brunswick, near the border of Maine, USA. So, Chit Chat today is about authentic being and taking off the mask. See, we, a lot of the times, put different masks on for different situations, like in work or different friends, instead of being authentic and being true to yourself because you're scared of being judged. But when we understand judgment, judgment is, again, a reflection of yourself, a projection. So whatever is, whatever you're internalizing externally shows up, and you become worried about other people, which is where we end up putting these masks on, these different masks, instead of being true to ourselves and who we are. Sometimes we don't know who we are. Sometimes we're figuring that out. We're trying to navigate who we are. But when we start taking off the mask, start going within, understand ourselves by meditating and connecting to our essence, our oneness, our higher selves, we'll understand that we end up separating ourselves from all that is. When you start changing your energy, by loving yourself, you'll start seeing it on externally. You'll start it's shift when you focus on negative things. For example, the politics that are going on in the world. When you unplug from that all that stuff, it doesn't affect you because it's a part of a polarity that is created to create fear. It's basically them playing out their role to create a polarity of fear. Dolores Cannon, look her up if you're not familiar with Dolores Cannon. She talks about our life as being a movie. So even Hollywood is part of being in our movie. Whatever you focus on shows up externally in your projection. It's really hard to wrap our head around that, to realize that everything that is showing up in front of your mirror, the mirroring of you, you've created. Hard to wrap your mind around that one. But what I do know, what's going on in the collective is shifting into their highest timeline. They're shifting into their highest timeline. And nobody's being left behind in these timelines. We just keep playing out our movie in different timelines and different dimensions. But the more that you follow the narrative, the 3D narrative, the more fear you create within your world externally. So the more you raise your vibration into 4D, 5D, and it's a dimensional, it's an energetic field that we're in, because we're energy, we're not these bodies. People need to start realizing we're not these bodies. We took these just to be here, to experience being on this planet in this timeline. Look up Dolores Cannon if you haven't heard of her. Look up the 3 Waves of Volunteers. Look up her teachings. She talks so much about this. Same with Bashar. And I'm going to keep mentioning this because another person that is really rocking it on these platforms is Pete Zapper. There's a person who has really done the work, and like he has followed like the teachings of Neville Goddard and right Abraham Hicks, and we're recognizing that when we talk about law of attraction, it's actually universal law. We are not manifesting anything, which is why half the time it never works, because we're trying to seek it outside of ourselves. We're constantly seeking, and then we never attain it because we're constantly trying to seek it. We have to feel it. We have to feel it within ourselves. But this is where we come back to ourselves in loving, learning to love ourselves. It's all about loving yourself. And when we start realizing that when we stop and see where our thoughts are going, what we're saying to ourselves, what we're saying to others, and what is showing up, you will start taking the mask and the rose-colored glasses off and going, recognizing, wow, I am the creator of whatever is going on in my reality. Abundance is already yours when you feel abundant and in gratitude and grateful for all that you have right now in this present time. And what's happening now in the collective is we are bringing in the herald of change. And we are connecting with our star family. As we're talking about, new beginnings are here. Abundance, gratitude, big ideas. Things are really Hangman, tolerance, new perspective, life purpose. When you let go and just completely surrender, because time doesn't exist. It's the ego mind that wants it like yesterday. Because the more you are in resistance, the longer it takes to come to you. It's right here, right now. You just got to open the door. Be your authentic self. And watch the magic. Watch the magic. Watch your life really become so magical. You just won't, you'll be pinching yourself, you won't believe it. Peace out. Love you all.